Hello, everyone.
Hi, Sandal.
Hi,
Great.
Central. Hi, John.
Hi,
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 Sandal.
Joe.
Hi,
Hi,
Joe.
John. Great. Nice to get connected again. And thanks for everyone who's joined us today. We are here with the next episode of What Digital Marketing series. And like what we've been discussing so far, this is again a set of questions that people usually ask in terms of digital marketing. And this time specifically, we've taken up the concept of e commerce,
Yes.
and that too with related to e-commerce development and how people can scale e-com businesses by overcoming tech hurdles. That's the topic that we're going to discuss today. And why did we select this topic is because we have two very important people here who will be helping us with the answers. One is Mr. John Merlin, and the other one is
Hi.
Mr. Liljo. So both of
Hi,
them,
everyone.
yeah, both of them have been instrumental in making so many e-com businesses flourish, right? Right from the beginning stage of the concept of whatever they wanted to do in terms of e-commerce to how to go about building an e-commerce website, how to maintain and make it scale. They've been through all of these phases, and these two are the only people who will be able to answer all technical related questions that any e-com business owner might face. So, without further ado, we would like to get started with this session as such. But after this COVID, right, we all see that the spike in e-commerce business has gone up multifold, and there are right from earlier stages. If you see, there are so many businesses who wanted to create e-commerce for themselves. One, because they all thought e-commerce was very easy, and two, they all thought that they themselves could do e-commerce themselves, right? And there are multiple different types of platforms that are available across the internet. One, you could probably, if you know coding, you will be able to start doing it on your own, or if you don't know anything, you could use certain tools like Shopify and things like that. But if you had the small, if you want to directly start off with base platform, you have something like WordPress and WooCommerce and things like that. So one of the most predominant questions that people usually ask is, what is the best platform should I choose, or should I even go for a platform in the first place, or should I only consider custom development of an e-commerce website? What would be your thoughts on that, John and Joe?
So it's basically like when you talk about e-com, so like who will be like the people who come for this e-com? So one is like startups or a person who want to start a business with an e-com. Second type of audience will be like those who already have a brick and mortar store, but at the same time, like you also want to like get into an e-com so that like his reach will be global. The third kind of audience or the people who will be coming for the e-com is aggregators. Like when we say aggregators, it can be Dunzo or like Misho, like so that multiple people can come there and then like they will be able to sell the product. So depending on this, the we have to choose which platform or like
Mhm.
depending on the technicality, it is on the complexity. It will be like different for different people. For example, if a startup or a person who is coming for the first time, he when he comes for an ecom, it is better for him to go with either a WordPress or a Shopify, which will be like it's with a comfortable budget as well as a like less of technicalities. Whereas when it comes to someone like who is already having a store and like they are exploring into ecom, so for them it will be something like you can get into a open cart sort of a thing. Whereas for an aggregator where there should be a robust backend where the multiple like API integrations will be there, safe payment gateway integrations has to be done. So there and all like it will be more complex. Like Magento platform will be like preferred or like it's advised.
Okay, great. John, what are your
Yeah,
thoughts on one other question that I had personally is, why should one go for a platform? So, is it advisable to go for an established platform, or should we start e-commerce from the scratch? What would you suggest?
yeah, Sandal. It's vary from customer to customer or the need to need. In case if the customer have a very few number of SKUs, they doesn't want to manage any number of inventory on the store or in the warehouse, they can directly go for any hosted solution similar to Shopify or Shopee, or it can be any gateway. There's a lot of tools are available nowadays where you can pay per use and you can go for a SaaS service. If in case the same customer have a good amount of SKUs, they have very good delivery system, they have very good warehousing, and the products are very huge. Definitely, they're going to go for their own hosted solution since the pricing and then payouts to the other SaaS model can be come down, and then explore multi varieties of features over the e-commerce. If
Okay.
in this case, as the people of the requirement is more big, like they are going to be aggregator, or they're going to run a service of e-commerce, similar to Urban Cloud, or it can be Uber. This kind of services were connected e-com. Then we have the customized solution to be developed for the need and the usage.
Okay, great. Cool. So yeah, because platform is the first thing that anyone decides to go with when we plan to go for a e-commerce business. But like having also discussed and consulted with some of these e-commerce businesses, what I think is the biggest challenge for these e-commerce businesses is not technology to start with. I think the overall challenge for them is that they lack the overall vision, right? So what when it comes to e-commerce, they only think of, okay, I need to have a website, a payment gateway, and then I'm done,
Hmm.
right? But I think there is more to an e-commerce website than just the shopping modules and a e-commerce payment gateway module, right? So
Correct.
what is that you think people today lack, and where do you think problems arise? Because while you develop e-commerce websites for most of the clients, I know when they think of website, they only think of certain modules, which is a product module, a payment gateway, and probably they will stop with that. They will not think of anything beyond that. But when it
Correct.
comes to the reality, right, there are so much more that needs to be thought through when it comes to building an e-commerce website. What do you think are the current problems that you have been facing in some of your clients, some of the common misunderstandings that they have, and how do you think we should look at the overall vision and architecture of an e-commerce website?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when it, yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead,
yeah.
John.
No, no, no. No, yeah, Lily, okay.
Okay. So first and foremost is like when people come for an e-com. Okay. So like they only like think mostly in terms of the front end or like what's visible. Okay. So like one thing is like they don't have a proper plan. They said, okay, I want an e-com store. It should be like very jazzy or like it should be very creative. That will be the terminologies like which we hear from like multiple people. And what makes it run or at the back end, like whether you have a robust shipping partner or like how you will be able to handle the shipping or the payment. So those things comes later. Also like there is the biggest challenge actually, like once they know, okay, these are all the things I which I need to like develop or build it prior to like getting an e-com store ready, even though it's a part of e-com modules, but you need to have like these things in place so that like once the development starts, okay, like this kind of things can be plugged in, or it can be integrated, because it also comes with lot of compliances and documentation also. So that is one thing. Second is like you need to have a end-to-end architecture plan before getting into an e-com, so that like how I will be managing my inventory once if someone customers puts a order, like how I'm going to ship it, how is the payment gateway, how will be the returns managed. So those things needs to be studied, as well as those things to be planned actually first before getting into a e-com venture. Yeah, John, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, as Liljo said, so in terms of the architecture design or discussion, the study, what kind of technology they want to have, and what kind of size of application they're going to use it based on the products and then the service that they will offer. So based on that, only which platform is preferable. It's a custom developed or it's a SaaS model. Then get into the daily, day-to-day basis activities. If he's running a offline store, how are you going to process it? If I come to online store, how this offline process is going to be helped in my online? It starts from cataloging the product, managing the orders, delivering the products, and how are you going to make the customer relationship? So how the communication going to happen with the client? What is the What is the contact points on each and every support? What is after sales support we are going to take in care through online? So we need to have a proper system, a proper process on place before start the website or e-commerce. So sufficiently all this nowadays we have a lot of tools to handle all this stuff. For example, if I want to manage my proper delivery management, yeah, I can go with ShipRocket kind of tool, or I can go to shop this guy shipper.com. These are the guys. ClickPost. These are the guys have the aggregator of delivery team. If I want to have a proper payment gateway, how to do it? There's a lot of tools are available nowadays. You can go with PayPal, PayU, or it can be Razorpay, which is most popular in India nowadays. So similarly, all of the procedure, even the customer CR, how I can manage my customer, how their support can be taken care. There's a lot of tools like Zoho or Freshdesk. Such kind of tools can be implemented and integrated with our e-commerce. This will help you in terms of giving a much experience, a good experience to the customer, and your all the procedures or process will be a more fulfillment scenario.
Get it, get it. Yeah, I see one of the comments is they've also added one more point, I think, to this topic, which is we need to have a good business model in the sense, right? So they need to be very clear on how are they going to make money with regard to the business model through their e-commerce. Because at the end of the day, if you look at it, every e-commerce business is the same. If you are selling clothes, you are selling clothes. That's all, right? There should
Yeah.
be some way in which you are differentiating. Number one. Number two, some way in which you are making more money than the others, because ultimately that's why you are doing this business in the first place. So you need to look at some interesting statistics to make sure that you are able to scale your business in a different way, and there should be a very interesting and a good business model that you also apply along with your website architecture and your overall vision. I think that was a good point from Kumaran as well.
Yeah.
Great. So these are the two major topics that people usually talk about. But I think there is one other very important topic, which is who should own the e-commerce platform. Which is
Yeah.
from a client's perspective, they have two options, right? They will be able to hire some people, and they can probably have a team inside of their own office, and they could do these e-commerce development themselves, they could manage it themselves. That is one set of people. The other set of people is, okay, they have good knowledge about their product base, and they can look out for an agency and they can outsource the entire development work, right? These are two basic scenarios that currently exist. Now, what would you suggest? Should an e-commerce owner ideally have a team within himself to manage his e-commerce business, or should he outsource it to an external agency? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's again something like as initially what I said, different type of people like who comes for ecom. So like if it's a startup or a first time person who is getting into an e-commerce, so they should definitely give it to someone who is already an expert in building this. Also, like it will be very costly for him to have manage his own team in house. At the same time, if it's an aggregator, they can at least afford to have an in-house team. But at the same time, the skill set needs to be like at par with what is the latest trend of e-com development and everything. Suppose if that is not there, it's just like a few developers and then like I'm managing an e-com, so that doesn't normally works out. So when you say like, yeah, the people who are starting an e-com and say that okay, it's my product, I know it best, I can sell it. That comes at a secondary level. But like, what is the technicality behind this e-com, or like when we create a platform? So that aspect needs to be given to the developers or the experts who day in day out they do on these things. Whereas the product inventory management, giving discounts, managing the pricing of it, some promotions kind of a thing, okay, like I'm offering this discounts, or like I'm for this particular festival season I'm offering some heavy discounts. So these are the calls, or these things can be managed internally. Whereas when it comes to some kind of a UI change or like a UX, like there will be many times there will be issues like my ecom is there, like people are coming till the cart, and from there it is getting dropped. No one is going to the payment gateway page. These and all are things which only the experts can review, like understand what is exactly happening, and then we can give proper solutions for them. So for that, it's two different entities. So expert should do work what an expert uh, should do when it's building, like an e-com store. It's not it's your entire business thing. It's a platform where your business runs. So that needs to be seriously taken care, and it needs to be given to experts.
Get it. One other thing that I think is when it comes to a e-com development, right? So just to summarize whatever you said, Joe, when it comes to development, it's always better to outsource to an professional agency. And when it comes to day-to-day management, probably an internal team can take care of it. That's what you meant, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Great. So one other reasons why internal teams fail is also because an e-commerce website is not just development, right? It also has branding in it. It also has design elements in it. It also has so many UI UX related stuff, which is also equally important. That is similar to a development aspect. So whenever someone takes an internal team, they only look at a bunch of developers to develop their e-commerce store. They forget the concept of, okay, we need to have good copy on the website. We need to have good designs. We need to have the properly placed products. They cannot just randomly click photographs and upload, right? You need to doctor those photos. You need to make them look better. You need to remove the background. There are so many aspects included to present your brand well on the e-commerce platform. And I think this is directly in line with the earlier concern that we discussed, wherein people lack a complete focus on what are the different aspects that are usually considered when you make an e-commerce business. When they miss the overall picture and they get started in developing only the e-commerce module, I think that's where the problem starts. And I think usually at Pixel Studios, what we do is whenever an e-commerce client comes in, we do that overall mapping, right? We understand the business model of what the client wants and what is the main module that we will be working on. What are the additional add-on modules that they may be needing? What are their competitors doing? Which are the tools that their competitors using? I think we do that entire feasibility study.
Study.
Correct, John?
Yes,
We
you are
do
right.
the study and then we tell the client that to do this, you need to do all of these things together.
You are
I
right.
think that level of dedication and approach an internal team might not be able to do, is what I think. And John, you want to do any other add points to this?
So that's what. So usually there is an internal team and external team where they come into the user experience. Important activity, the user experience. Keep the website on more optimized way for understanding the Google or any other search engines, and keep my conversion ratio always higher. Where the journey of the customer experience has to be managed. So this has to be run by agency, or it can be the expertise who will sit over there, will keep the analyze the study and how the navigation should be planned. So everything has to be taken care by an expert mind over there. So yeah, definitely the internal team can do it, but not in the case of how an agency can help us.
Okay. But one other challenge that I think we usually face is when you give it to an agency, you need a proper single point of contact in the company side.
Yes, true,
Correct?
true.
So
Yes.
otherwise, what happens is too many people will have too many ideas. They will keep changing this and that. So can you share your experiences like that,
See,
and what is that you would recommend?
in this aspect, Cyril, usually we used to work with their brand managers or their marketing team, marketing head. But what some of the startup companies or the small size organization will directly work with the decision makers will need they will find out what is the end agenda, what they want. Are they want keen on the conversion, or they keen on the brand promotion, or they want the only visibility. So based on that, our approach and our team are the presentations or the UI presentations or the optimization over the website will take it forward. And we'll give the clear roadmap. Okay, these are the activities we are going to plan, and these are the conversion can be achieved at this point of stage. And this will be the line of activities going to present it.
Get it. And one other common thing which is in line with this topic is when I'm done building an e-commerce website, it's not done with that, correct? We need to be maintaining it on a
Right.
proper basis. We need to
You're right.
making sure that we are changing the interface. The website that was done 4 years back, we cannot have the same cover image and same banner
True.
image till today, right? So that is also there, which is we need to
You are
keep
right.
making changes to the website. You need to keep looking at how people are using your website, what are the different ways in which you can improve your website. All of those things is also needed. So from what Joe suggested, I think I can split management of websites into two aspects, which is maintaining day-to-day activities on the website, which is order management, shipping management, offers and discounts, and any customer
Product
queries,
cataloging.
customer handling. All of
Yeah,
these things is always best handled by an internal team because they will have internal connects. And whenever
Yes.
there's a problem, they'll be able to easily connect with the internal team and they'll be able to sort it out.
More on
But when
operational
it comes
activities.
to, yeah, when it comes
yeah,
to other things which are related to development, which is including a new banner or improving a new campaign idea which can be built in, increasing the sales by probably creating a coupon code or things like that. Anything that is technical, I think the team should also be investing a small bit on maintenance of the website because it will go through multiple changes on a monthly basis, and we need to be planning all of those activities and we need to be executing, I guess. I think so the
yeah,
answer to this question basically is yes, we need both, right? We need a proper responsible team within the company, which
Okay,
would
sir.
probably drive both day-to-day operations and also handle the e-commerce agency. But when it comes to development, startup, and things like that, it is always better to outsource it to an external agency.
You're right.
Joe, do you want to add any points to that?
yeah. That's what like it's when it comes to the management. So management of e-commerce. So that one more major aspect is actually the managing the speed of the site. So that is something like which we need to keep a check on that. So once it is handled by professionals, for example, like what we do at Pixel Studios, so like we check it on a regular basis, check the Google's page insights or GT metric scores and all, and we always keep it at par with the competitors or like it's always matched with the industry standards. So that like people nowadays like they don't have time or patience to like just search for something and wait for a longer time. So the faster you show it to the client or the prospective customers, the faster the conversion will happen.
Understand. Cool, great. And the next question that the most common thing that usually people face is with regard to integrations, right? Like how we pointed
Yes.
out earlier. Usually, what happens is in most of these cases, they work with multiple vendors. So for integration, they have, for example, for shipping, they have someone else. For
Hmm.
order management and inventory management, they want someone else. Probably they have their own ERP, which they've been using for quite some time. They want to integrate that with e-commerce. So, what are the common problems that come with integrations, and how do you think we should solve it?
So usually people coming with the issues in terms of how to handle my delivery. So once I get the order, how I'm going to handle it? How I every time do I need to call the courier guy? Will they come and pick up my item, deliver at my client place? How I'll be sending my manifest list? So this is a usual scenario coming over the client. Next, how to handle my entire inventory in the stock. So what are the stocks I'm handling? What is the count I have? So how do I manage my orders? So how am I going to send my order from here to Delhi? So there's a lot of tools nowadays we implemented with for my clients. For example, all the delivery management handling through ShipTocket. That's a tool. It's a service provider who aggregate with multiple service courier companies, and they will pull up the available players and then price. Customer can choose which courier guys they want to preferable. They can book on it, and they can. There's a different pricing also will be there. Yeah, customer can see on screen. They can pay it on the place itself. So similarly, stock availability. So nowadays, a lot of AP integrations available to manage my stock. If I have a Zoho stock inventory, or it can be a Freshdesk some tools, or if I have some custom-made ERP application I'm managing, or if I have some SAP-based application, how to integrate. We have a lot of AP integrations implemented, which will give the real-time stock, so that the customer doesn't need to fall into out-of-stock scenarios. So before the order or after the order, how the stock is available, everything will be synchronized to in term. Same way the payment gateways. So the earlier stages we have only few payment aggregators are available. Otherwise you need to go to the banks directly. Nowadays a lot of aggregators are comes in within a very ease of clicks. So even if you try a tool called Razor Pay, which will give it in a 2 click you can pay and come out. just pay another product. You click on a single click, you can pay and come out if you have already saved account with them. So similarly, a lot of tools are available and we can give you ease of activity. So nowadays available with UPI transaction. So people, the payment has become very much easier. You can have your UPI account, people can transfer to that and you can get the status updated online with ease of use.
Get it.
So these are the some integration problems we faced, and uh, we have a lot of tools available nowadays.
Good. I think we have a comment from Mr. Sandeep. I think he's asked about payment issue. Like assuming there is a payment issue that comes up when
Okay.
a customer tries to pay with an e-commerce business, and the payment according to him got debited, but according to the company, the brand, it doesn't get committed. The customer will panic, right? How to
Yes.
handle this and how to solve this is his question.
See, such kind of scenarios happen with any type of payment gateway. It's even it is happening in our largest payment system done by IRCTC. We're having the same problem. But again, how we are going to mitigate this problem? We have some APIs will keep running on the background, check the payments are done, which are not done, and not transferred to the website. So maybe a delay of few minutes, the status will update to the website, and the customer also get updated. So these are things not in any ready-made solution, but we will write up separate in services to run, check, and keep update the customer and keep update on the website also in the simultaneously.
Get it.
So
Yeah,
So these are
this
this
small,
is
is
a
small add-ons. Yeah.
custom solution. Yeah, it's a custom solution to customer need.
Yeah, this is
Yes. So.
also like part of the planning, like what I already told earlier. So
Mhm.
these are the things which we need to plan at a very early stage when you like think of an e-com, because nowadays you have to keep updating the customer what's happening. So this payment failure and all, it's a general thing which across e-com platforms. Whereas how fast you are updating it to them. For example, Amazon and all, they show that within 20 minutes is something like which they keep a track, whether you will know within 20 minutes whether it's a successful transaction or your payment is like not done, kind of a thing. So when you go with a payment partner or a shipping partner, so both ways, like you need to see like how what integrations they provide, because some of them like doesn't provide proper integration. So like it will happen that is payment is captured, whereas you will not know that if there is a transaction failed, it is not letting you know like what exactly happened. So customer is in the middle that okay, what happened to my payment. Second, the same thing happens with shipping also. Once the order is booked, so order is purchased, customer gets a notification that okay, your order has been booked. After what? After that, what happens? So only few payment gateway or shipping providers, yeah, like give you APIs which tells or which tracks the exact locations or things where is your order now? Like has it been shipped? Is it's on the way? So customers always wants to update, or like they want to know that okay, like what's happening with my order till it reaches them. Like it's always on a curiosity level. Okay, well, what happened to that order? So the more you engage with the customer, the better customer experience you will be able to give it to your customers, which in turns will make them come back to your store.
Understand. So people are so used to this Amazon model already, right? They've been already
Exactly.
purchasing on Amazon, and
Yeah.
they usually see how Amazon tracks their delivery and things like that. So they expect the same amount of
Kind of
tracking
quality.
ability with any small e-commerce website as well. And that is not so
Exactly.
hard to make, but you need to consider that. You need to make sure that you're able to include that in your overall business plan and give that experience to the customer. Great. I think.
Correct.
That was a good topic. And the next thing is the most important thing that people ask is, should I build a mobile app or a website is enough for me?
Certainly, it's mobile app. It's which in context the particular products are selling. It's a daily basis product, or it can be my continuous engagement with the customer every day. So maybe that kind of feasibility studies we need to do it first of all. So nowadays, most of the people go with app like Uber. It's a daily usage, so I need an app. I need a every day I need to check, or I need to book every day one another time I want to connect it. So I need an app. So, for example, payments through Google Pay. So it's my handy app where every time I want to do a transaction, I just click, open, and do the transactions. Okay. But again, the e-commerce, we need to see whether, for example, Amazon or the Flipkart, even today, a lot of people use a transaction from the website itself or in the mobile website. The mobile version of the website should be more 100% responsive and compatible with all the features, easy to do the transactions like this, similar to a mobile app. Then the usage of app is come down in terms of e-commerce business life. Okay. So
But there was a time when everyone were doing apps, right? Everyone thought people would be preferring apps. But do you think people still prefer apps? And do they try apps for the first time, or they first try the website, make sure that the website works, and they are more accustomed to using the website, and then go for the app? Or
see,
if app is not at all needed, we can do go with. There are so many things like progressive web apps and other things that are already available, right? So
Yeah.
do,
sure.
that does a mobile app really necessary?
Earlier it was like when this app came up, or like that time it was a like very fancy thing to have any app which came in, like people starts downloading it. But nowadays it's not the case, because like people start thinking, okay, because of this data theft security concerns and all, so they really want to filter it out whether like this is really required for me. For example, if you are selling in your through your ecom store only, say about plants, or like it's a nursery, so like for that, like I don't think so anyone will be downloading an app and keeping it. It's a random thing, like you just browse it to through the net, you found the store, you bought that product, and it's not a daily day to day usage product. At the same time, if you see Amazon, they sell everything. So for them, like to have an app of Amazon will be much easier, or like it will be better than like having an app for only to buy plants, or seeds per se for gardening. So it's based on the usage and need also. It changes. And like earlier, people never without trying, no one installs into their phone, like it's like some foreign object getting into your phone. So they definitely think twice before installing an app.
Right, right, right. Get it. And so, is it enough? So, one of those questions here, I think, is about how to get more sales out of the website. Once the e-commerce website is complete, what should be the second step, and how to promote the website? Is what one person has asked. So, is it enough if I just have a website up and running, or are there any other integrations that I need to be doing with Google and related businesses so that my product and my website is more visible outside?
Yes, definitely. It is something like you have your website up, no one knows about it until and unless you publicize it. It's like you close the doors for your store, and like you're saying that I'm open, kind of a thing. For a website, like even though like it's online, until and unless you promote it, people won't know about it. So there's definitely we have tools available. For example, Google Analytics, things like that, which is already there, with which we can track. That is from where the audience is coming to your site, what is the overall traffic, what is the bounce rate, from which all locations the people are visiting your site. So these are all insights with which we will be able to better the site. If, for example, if the bounce rate is higher, like it's more than 50% or so, so we definitely know that there is some problem with our homepage or the landing, where people are landing and like they're quitting, they're not going to any other screen or any other pages. So in that case, these analytics will give us insights how to like better it, how to fine tune it to get more visibility, more traffic, make the sales happen. So there is always the promotion is, it's when you are opening an e-com store, you should definitely have a budget for promoting it also. Otherwise, to have a simple e-com and it will work off its own will not happen.
Get it. Uh, John, do you want to talk about Google Merchant Center?
Yes, Adil. See, once I promote started the website, then my next step of activities will be the promotion. So till I promote my website, no one goes know about what I'm selling, how to buy from me. Okay. So the promotion activities, it can be earlier we have a bit of social media promotions and then Google paid ads, all such kind of activity. Now Google itself come out with a solution called because people go and search from Google first before come to a website. They want to buy a product, they search from a Google search. So now Google has come up and they sync the my e-com website. Anything I'm going to sell through my website, Google itself selling listing on their website called
Okay.
Google Merchant Center. So that's another solution given by Google. It's a fantastic, an excellent solution by Google, where I can simply I can start my sales and Google going to easily crawl the data and push it on the Merchant Center. Okay. So this is again another important activity. Any e-commerce people are doing, they need to get optimized for Google Merchant Center.
Get it. Cool. And yeah, one last thing that what Joe touched upon is what are the different parameters that people should be measuring when it comes to an e-commerce website? Because the success of a website, usually when it comes to social media, you see people say that I have a lot of followers and things like that. But when it comes to e-commerce, the ultimate objective is to have sales, correct? But before that, there are certain other parameters that you need to be looking at. Are there any interesting tools that people can use to make sure that they are able to understand how their website is being used by people? And what are the different tools that you suggest from a analytics point of view? How people use the website?
Yeah, from analytics point of view, like that is the only data which we get, with which we can like study our site, improve it, kind of a thing. So it's mainly the Google Analytics. That is nowadays like Google is going to release Google Analytics 4, which is going to be like more like focused, oriented towards e-com. So
Mm.
it will give us specific insights, like how the people are behaving in our site, like when they come to the site, what is the next step, or like which page they are going in, kind of a thing. So similarly, like at present, we also have heat maps. So through
Okay.
that also, like we know that okay, like someone has landed and like where all they are navigating certain places. If we are putting a banner or a like offer there, but no one is going to that particular section, these things we can make out from heat map. So what happens is, okay, then like we can get an insight that okay, that positioning or that placement is not correct, or people, or like maybe it will be after 2 or 3 folds this offer is running, or this particular banner is shown. So people are not going to that extent. So these are kind of insights with which we will be able to like optimize our ecom better and better. Similarly, like one more scenario which comes, which is like cart abandonment. So people gets like they put the products in cart, the cart will be there, whereas like after that no one goes to the payment gateway. So what is the issue? They will be like the normal scenarios will be like either like there will be some issues with the payment gateway, people are not able to, or like they are not able to like exactly see the flow, or like after this what needs to be done. So those are the things which we need to analyze through this analytics, heat maps, everything, and like accordingly we have to fine tune those UI UX elements there, and then see the results, how like the sales are increasing or not. So it's kind of a like improvement on the go.
Understand. Okay. Just
So
like how you mentioned this one, the cart abandonment, I have a personal experience of using one of the websites. I think they were using Shopify. So I went till the checkout, but I did not make the payment. In the next 30 minutes, I got a WhatsApp message along with the discount code telling me that we saw that you have come to our website, added product to the cart, but you did not check out. Here's a 10% discount for you to help you to buy the product. And eventually, I ended up buying it. So for
okay,
any e-commerce business, I think these are small add-ons that they need to think of, because everyone knows that they have a lot of people adding to the checkout, adding to cart, and checkout is good, but checkout to payment conversion is usually very low, right? But they know that fact, but they don't do anything to fix that. So with these analytics tools and with these plugins and integrations, I think we will be able to improve on those aspects and improve sales on the website as well. Correct?
Correct. And that's
Yes,
one
yes.
classic example of customer touch points actually. The moment they know that like someone has reached the cart and like they haven't bought it. So it's a classic example that like at the back end they're monitoring this. So
Yeah,
until and
but one
unless they
another thing that I realized, Joe, is usually all these websites, what they have is they have the sign up at the end, which is even when I'm about to make the payment, probably they get my details. But this specific website, when the starting, when I added to cart, they asked my mobile number and email ID. So they were
correct.
able to capture my email ID and mobile number at that point. So when I abandoned the cart, they were able to reach out to me.
Follow me.
Exactly.
Right. So small
Minimum
things like that.
information, yeah. Exactly. The
Right.
minimum information which they require to reach out to you, they have already captured it. Definitely, after you place the order, they will ask you to write the entire
Yes, yes.
address. Without
That's
that,
correct.
they won't be able to. Yeah, but that's the last
Correct.
step.
That's correct. But usually in a website flow, they usually have a guest checkout, and only when the payment gateway section comes through, they ask you for billing details, your email, contact details, and other things. So that's when
Correct.
people even add to cart, they then drop it there. I think.
Mm.
John, you were able
Exactly.
to add something, John.
Yes, and the tools in the as we discussed, so as Livio mentioned, so Google Analytics will help us to understand how the website is traveling, how where are I need to optimize the pages or product sections. Now we have implementing e-commerce analytics, which is part of Google Analytics, which help us to understand the conversion scenarios from where the conversion is happening and where the abundance is happening, which product, at which price, even the sales conversion also can track through analytics. Plus, as you mentioned of the heat map, they have a lot of tools like for understanding the heat map, like Hotjar or like Lucky Orange kind of tools, where it will give the clear scenarios of where the customer landing, which link they are properly clicking. More popular links where it is, it's a which banner they are clicking. From there, the navigation is happening. So we have a lot of tools to implement, and we can give the analytics to the customer. Okay, how what are the improvisations that to bring in with very scientific and then with proper data in terms of people trying to exit window. We have implemented a lot of intent scenarios. So we can promote a ban. So a customer was on the website for a while, then we can push up a notification automatically on screen saying that, oh, you are in the website for a while, why not you try this product and you take this offer. If there's someone trying to close the window, we'll put a notification on the screen. So we're handling these kind of exit intent scenarios. Then after, as you mentioned, abandoned cart. After a few minutes or after a few days, we will use to run a service and find the people who are all abandoned the cart, take the product. If we can promote an offer, particular product, definitely we can push a notification with the coupon codes, a predefined coupon codes generated for the abandoned carts. So then after sales scenarios, who is a returning customer? So we implemented certain MIS reports for the customers. They can find out who are the returning customer, how frequent they are coming back, and what is the average spend in a month. Based on the we send the notifications and on email push saying that okay, this is a coupon code for you for this month based on your average spend on us. So these are the after implementing go live. These are the tools to help us to implement and convert more business from the customer point.
Great, great. Joe, you have anything else to add?
Yeah, it's always like better to have a proper robust feedback mechanism, or like when you understand the analytics. So how fast you reach out to your customer. So that's like keep you in the game of ecom. Suppose you if you fail in that, you won't be like able to survive in this competitive ecom world.
Yeah, I understand. Cool. I think we have a lot of questions in our comment section. We probably will discuss some of them. I think Mr. Gokul R has asked about that they are facing a lot of issues during migration from Shopify. So usually this is very usual, right? They build a website in one platform, they want to move to another platform, and that's when all hell break loose, right? What is that you recommend? What when they're planning to migrate, what are the steps that they need to consider, and how do you think you want they have to manage this migration process?
See, converting from Shopify is very specific. Maybe the issues are, I'm not sure what type of issue, but the predominant issues come from data migration. I have Shopify data, how I can push the data to my current platform. So it's clearly defined based on the architecture or the platform product cataloging, how I'm going to define in my new system, which is matching to my Shopify. This is one scenario. Next, maybe the customer database and my past order database. So all this stuff has to be in tandem to my existing new system plus the Shopify database structure has to go match each other. This comes from a system study. So we do before any migration, we do a system study, find the database matching. Then we go with the customer, say, boss, these are the changes to be done on your existing system or in a new system. Then we'll get into the migration part. This is how we need to handle it.
Okay,
That's
great.
why, when we earlier said, like it needs to be when it comes to building of an e-com, it needs to be given to professionals because this
100%.
study is very much required. You have all the details there, but how you are pulling it and placing it in the new platform. So that's the game changer here. You don't do it properly, you will lose the data.
Get it, get it. Okay. Cool. There's another question from Mr. Manigandan. He's saying that his website is getting hacked very often. This is again something very common, right? A website getting hacked or a virus being injected into it, and a lot of issues. So, what do you think we should do? Because this is a very common issue, and for those people who are aware, they probably include certain security norms within it. But those people who are not aware, what are the recommendations that you would be giving?
So any e-com site or any static website goes live, the minimum vulnerable check has to be done. So like cross-site accessing, or it can be a content script penetration or a SQL injection. So these are the minimum level of check where vulnerability test has to be done before go live. Next, in terms of how secure the server it is. So even you hosted in a very secure server, but your files may have a corrupted file will make you to get hacked on it, or your low level coding, not the professional coding may help the hackers to get inside the website. And securing the server also, again, one more thing. Even take the server from cloud service and you have to secure the server in proper protection, like storing the passwords, installing the proper FTP tools to handle that thing. So those things has to be investigate before such kind of scenarios.
Also, the hosting which you take. So this is also like something which needs to be planned at a very early stage. So that's why again you need to give it to a professional because these
Yeah,
are the things like which uh, for say for example you are giving it to a freelancer, they will never do in such a way like whichever free plugins or free hostings or like the minimum level of hosting which can make the site run, that will happen, or like they will give that only because that is for them that's actually like budget friendly or like at a low cost you are getting the things done, but it will definitely lack these kind of security features and security measures, which will in turn what will happen is like when your customers face this issue, they intend to buy something or they land to your site and they see something else, they intend to see a e-com site and they see something else, so that will spoil your reputation. So that's why when you plan for an e-com, so definitely you should have a minimum level of budget for these things like security, your API integration. So these are things which you have to invest initially and go with a proper professional agency to have this built in for you, which will down the line, on a long run, it will definitely give you returns.
yeah. So, basis your point, Joe, there's another question from Mr. Gokul Mahendran. He's asking how to choose the best hosting service for e-commerce because there are too many services that are available in the market. There is AWS, there is Bluehost, GoDaddy. Everyone is offering hosting, right? Which is the
Yes.
best one that we should be using? Is the question. What would be your answer for that?
It's all about the budget and the size of server we are going to procure. If we go for AWS server, okay, the architecture itself totally different compared to any GoDaddy or digital ocean kind of stuff. Okay. If you go with GoDaddy, you have a predefined server and you can pay and you can take a service and you need to install the application through the software. But in AWS, you need to install audio software and you should have a proper Linux administrator to manage the server and set up your security patches, set up your environment. So all this falls in the server setup itself. So maybe the type of software or the type of application you are holding and the size and the bandwidth you're going to consume. Based on that, you need to make a sizing, server sizing. Then we can give a suggestion on what server or what service provider you can take it up. It's a purely customized solution to be worked out.
Okay.
Whenever you're choosing a hosting, always make sure if it's for an e-commerce, don't go with a shared hosting. Always it's better either you go with a VPN or like yeah, AWS with like AWS, like it will definitely like support your security will be taken care for sure. But when you're going with GoDaddy, Bluehost and all, like you make sure it's a VPN, and the plugins and all what you are using, it's all validated paid plugins. Avoid using like free plugins, so that will like resolve much like what you can anticipate.
Understand. Okay. So there's this question from Sandeep. Is asking, is it possible to sync the store products seamlessly with Google Merchant Center, or do we need to take any additional steps to merge the data?
No, they have certain features provided by Google itself, either to sync with your XML data or it can upload your data through Excel file format given by Google Merchant Center. The data should be in the given format and it can be synced either a manual way or it can be auto syncing. Auto syncing can run on some JSON format they have otherwise given us to expose on the website. So the website will be synced automatically.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So we need to take some effort as a developer point of view. That a particular functionality developed and kept on the website. So otherwise, they need to develop download the data in a given format of Google. They need to do it. So there's some effort of development will be involved.
Cool. I think that's pretty much it. We do have some more questions, but I think we're running short of time. There are too many questions that we are being coming up with. Let's see if we can pick. Do you have time for one more question?
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely,
sir.
Senthil.
Yes, sir. Yes, definitely.
Getting more interesting now.
Let me pick one. Again, this is another question from Sandeep again. He's asking, as a startup company, what is the cost to build an e-commerce website? Should we go with a CMS or a custom-made website?
When it's a startup, I would definitely like advise them to go with the CMS, because like in comparison to a custom made codes or custom made website, it will be budget friendly. That is for
Okay.
definitely for sure. Whereas like you have to see like what will be your target audience, like how much traffic you are anticipating. Those things needs to be taken into account, because even though you can be a startup, whereas like maybe like you will have a good investor, or like you're aiming for a big platform kind of a thing. So that time, then definitely like you have to, if you have real good enough of budget, then definitely custom made platforms are better.
Cool, cool. John, any inputs from your side, John?
No, Sandhya, I think Riljo covered the query.
Cool. I think that's pretty much it. There is not many other questions that we have. Good, but I think it was a good session. I think we had a lot of questions relating to how to scale up e-commerce, what are the general problems that they face, and great inputs from both you, John and Joe. Thanks for that, and thanks for
Thank
the
you, Sid.
overwhelming participation. I think we've got a lot of comments asking various questions on various different topics. I think it was all interesting. So if they do have any other questions, John, can you share your email ID, on which email ID they can reach out to you to get your answers?
Yes, and then we'll share that. Should I share here?
You can just tell it out, and probably
Yes.
they can flash it on screen. It's,
John at pixel-studios.com.
okay. So if anyone has any questions that they want to be answered by Mr. John, they can email him at john@pixel-studios.com, and he will be happy to answer any of your questions. Cool. Do you want any finishing words, John and Joe?
Yeah, as I said, I mean, it's always better to get into an e-com space, because as per the statistics by 2023, almost more than 25% of the retail sales are going to be done through online or e-com. So if you're not part of that crowd, definitely you will be losing business if you're only having a brick and mortar store alone. So it's better, or it's the right time to get into this venture. So any support required from like Pixel Studio side, like we're always there, and you can always, I mean, like you're always welcome for a discussion.
John?
Yes, as part of this overall discussion, the customer or the owner of the e-commerce site, people has to manage in terms of the decision to make in terms of how to keep the team, whether the internal or external, at what aspect they want to manage internal, what aspect they're going to be the outsourcing agency. So that should be a important aspect we need to consider in any e-commerce business to take forward. So yeah, for any support or any queries, you can reach out with contact@pixelipinsurance.com. So we will keep in touch with you for any support on it. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks for your
Thank you,
time.
Siddharth. Thank you, Lenu. Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you, both of you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.